better do some intros in case we get cheese. Our Zerg player's work ethic is legendary. He knows that in order to be the best, you have to put in the hours. It's not enough to just get Bly!
Current world rank 37.
It is a well-documented fact that over 80% of all amphibians are pacifists. But not our Protoss player, for he is Fighting Frog!
Current world rank 146.
Figures. The one time I get on the intros, there's no quick spawning pool out of Bly. Normally, until proven otherwise, Bly is one of those guys who's either doing something really creative or really aggressive. But here we're looking at a normal hatch first. If you're not familiar with Fighting Frog, he's a Swedish player. He's on Team Archangel Gaming. He's gonna have his hands full dealing with the likes of Bly on Blackburn. Oh, Bly did get a drone out. He is cheesing. Whatever it is though, he's doing it with the delayed pool. It's gotta be a proxy hatch then. But it's odd, because this is actually his third hatch. He's not using it to block the Protoss wall. He's stealing the Protoss natural. Call it a reverse hatch block. I remember Nurchio used to do this from time to time. You can delay the Protoss expansion and you can cancel it to get your money back. Fighting Frog's got the scout, so he knows there's no spawning pool. That's gonna make him a lot less worried. Oh cool, he's actually blocking the spawning pool drone. That was a nice move. Bly has to go to plan B. Although he's not worried about lings popping out of that hatch, Fighting Frog still got a zealot right away. He wants that thing ripped down ASAP. He's actually getting a second zealot as well, chrono boosting it. So Bly is really doing some economic damage with this hatch. While his own's about to pop. Eggplant explosion. But he's got to be concerned that once he forces all these units out of Fighting Frog, there's a real chance Fighting Frog's just gonna turn around and use them on him. You only need so many zealots standing around your base. Oh, court completes and Fighting Frog goes Stargate. That's kind of a weird reaction. I think this is more of a, I've got a plan and I'm sticking to it. Now there's an adept getting chrono boosted and warp gate research has started. The zealots are really working out their frustrations. And there's the cancel. And Bly converts it to an Evo, which he then cancels and the drone gets away. Oh, those zealots have to be so disappointed in themselves. Dudes, you've literally got lightsabers on your hands. And now Bly's gonna get a free scout of the main. He sees the Stargate. His spawning pool's complete. He's starting up Queens and Ling speed. And look at that, Fighting Frog hustling his units over to counter. Bly, though, looks like he might have his Queens out in time. Fighting Frog got his Nexus down. After all the opening shenanigans, our players are even on workers. Whoa! Fighting Frog has bailed on his attack. He's headed home. He's rethinking the whole slow zealots versus mass zergling. His adept's gonna try to get a scout though. Shade cancels. And while this is going on, Bly puts down his third for real this time. We've got a void ray coming out of that Stargate. The drone's gonna be able to see it. Yeah, Fighting Frog's worried about a Ling run by. He's setting up his wall. With those extra zealots, he's got the tools to do it. This drone in the main is just going through his bucket list. I will be so impressed if he gets out alive. I think he's just getting ready to meet the Overmind. Oh, I thought Bly was gonna try a door challenge there, but he thought better of it. The delayed Protoss natural's gonna finish up, and there's the Maynarding of probes. And the Void Ray is gonna claim the first blood. Fighting Frog was stashing money, waiting for that drone to die. He adds a second gate. And a fleet beacon, baby. Starting to look like a carrier rush. Bly's adding spores. Void Ray's gonna kill off the perching overlord. Bly's too late to sack it for value. He's gonna see nothing new. Bly is working on his queen count. He's gonna need that. Yeah, Bly stopped droning in order to work on his air defense here. But I'm not sure he appreciates the full extent of what could be coming. Third base is gonna pop. The thing looks so delicate, it's hard to imagine two zealots couldn't just shred it open before. Oh, zealot and adept strayed a little too far. Bly's gonna try to pick off some units here. Double zealot warp in to seal that door, but no, the Lings are in. Is Bly gonna try to kill probes or is he gonna get the scout? He doesn't know, but the scout is more valuable here. Oh yeah, he's going for the main. Eureka, he sees the fleet beacon. He sees the second Stargate. Bly immediately starts his lair in response. That was very unfortunate for Fighting Frog. He's lost the surprise value of his tech jump. Seeing no more Void Rays in production, Bly has the confidence to squeeze out an extra round of drones. Somebody kill those lings already. This late in the game, they cannot be living rent-free in your natural. Life is hard when you don't have a stalker. Please tell me he's not getting back in the main. He is not getting back in the main. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Just die. And there, with the Ling Scouts dead, Fighting Frog makes his move. Double Tempest with Tectonic Destabilizer upgrade. Oh, Fighting Frog checks the 4th at exactly the right time. He catches Bly making a naked grab for the gold mineral base. He switches on prismatic alignment and shuts it right down. Bly did not get a cancel, by the way. That's 300 minerals that could have been put to air defense. Oh, but here's a slick surround. Did you see the way he used move command there? He glides his lings into the perfect spot and he gets a great trade. The probe has to go home. The Protoss 3rd is officially delayed. That was some serious Zergling red tape. Double chrono boost on the double Tempest. Bly's making his Hydra den. Boy, is he gonna need that. He's also restarted that 4th of the gold. I have never seen tectonic stabilizers this early in a PvZ. I've talked about it before, how it should be this great late game weapon against the Zerg Spore Forest. But this is something else entirely. Fighting Frog is moving out. Bly does not have a single Hydra to his name right now. Oh, but as soon as I say that, he starts up 7. Bly is pulling in more money and way more gas. Courtesy of a 15 worker lead, Fighting Frog's just starting his 3rd. It's been delayed just like his natural was. Bly's Lings spot the Tempest and he increases his Hydra order to 11. I should say turn it up to 11 and make it a Spinal Tap reference. Thumbs up if you've actually heard of Spinal Tap. Fighting Frog's trying to get position over the natural. Bly's making spores, which is the last thing he needs right now. Those Tempests are doing an extra plus 40 damage against structures each. That's double damage. They can almost one-shot a spore. Bly needs to group those Hydras together pronto. Here they come. They have no upgrades, those Hydras. But if you get enough of them, who cares? What Fighting Frog knows is that he has a range of 10. Hydras have a range of 5. Queen 7. If he gets in the right spot, he can outrange everything. Oh, but the ever-cunning Bly is looking to circle around behind him and cut off his retreat. Tempests are beefy, but they're not 10 Hydra beefy. Can he find a little nook where he can park his Tempest where the Hydras can't reach him? That would be killer. I think that's what he's trying to do. Fighting Frog has a map-based strat here. But Bly may not have wasted any time cracking the code. He's going on a counterattack. Oh man, slow Hydra's going through a deceleration zone. I think I just aged a year watching that. Fighting Frog looking to transition to carriers in response to the Hydras. He's adding warp gates and shield batteries, but I think he's too late to put those shield batteries down. Bly's going for the front door. There's Void Rays on hold position. And a recall. That's kind of a win for Bly right there. He's ended the Protoss attack. But it buys Fighting Frog the time he needs to get his shield batteries up and save his 3rd. Bly's original Hydra force is pulling back. He's got a second one streaming over to the Protoss base. Oh, I see it. He's luring the Golden Armada out of position. Fighting Frog has taken the bait. He can't resist cutting down those slow Hydras for free. But it's not free. It's cost him position, and I don't know if he has another recall available. But this Hydra's dying anyway. Bly turns to fight, while the real attack cuts into the undefended 3rd. The shield batteries are the first to go. And the Hydras are doing their best impersonation of a locust swarm. It's gonna be a laser light show. The Golden Armada arrives, but they are a fraction too late. The carrier arrives, but it's too late as well. Bly just keeps making more and more Hydras. He's getting bigger faster. And that is a problem Protoss cannot solve without Splash. Now stuck on 2 bases, Fighting Frog cannot get the money either. He tries a small Zealot warp in, but they do not have charge and can be kited. Protoss orders double carriers, but the Tempests are going to evaporate before they get here. It's the GG. A terrific read and response by Bly. Bly takes the game. So normally Bly is a bull by the horns kind of Zerg who tries to control the game with his own agenda. But here, he wound up showing off his ability to play classic reactive Zerg. He got the critical scout on multiple occasions and then reacted appropriately, ultimately setting himself up for the compositional win. I don't think he knew the tectonic stabilizers were coming, or he wouldn't have dumped money into spores, but other than that, he was ready. Now, I loved Fighting Frog's plan. I bet he owned a bunch of noobs with his on the ladder. It's a range play, a positional gambit. He tries to fit his Tempest into key spots on the map where Zerg will have a devil of a time reaching him, and he has the firepower to kill and depopulate the queens. Bly, though, took that away from him when he pivoted his Hydras onto offense. That was very smart. Suddenly, Bly got to pick where the fights took place, and range became far less relevant, and instead, this game was about straight-up trading units, which meant the game was about economy. Economy was something Bly had, Fighting Frog, not so much. Now, I appreciate most of you know this, but just for the few who don't get to watch Tempest at work very often, although Tempest look like they're shooting a splash damage weapon, they are not. That is a single target blast. That means Fighting Frog can really only gun down 1 or 2 Hydras at a time at most. And the Tempest's slow rate of fire soon becomes a factor here. Hydras are specifically designed by Blizzard patches to be vulnerable to splash, and when they don't face it, eventually their firepower becomes so strong they can go toe-to-toe with just about anything. Realistically, for this build to work at the pro level, the Protoss player has to have the element of surprise. The Tempest need to be raining fire down on the Zerg while he's still going, what's happening? So, where Fighting Frog goes wrong is really in his 2 unsuccessful attempts to deny Zerg scouting. His plan was to use the Void Ray to deny the Overlord, and that worked. But he let the Zerg's drone pop out of the hatch and get up into his main. He has to prevent that. It's a small thing, but I think that when TOS is focusing down a proxy hatch, they need to position their units on all sides of the hatch, not just one side, so the drone can't escape as easily. But I am kind of exaggerating its significance. The truth is, Bly was going to figure out that Protoss had a Stargate when the Void Ray zapped his Overlord into a moist sack of electrically charged blood. The real loss was when Fighting Frog's door guards strayed out too far from his base, letting Bly get the second scout with his lings to see the fleet beacon and the second Stargate. Fighting Frog almost held that at his door. There's nothing to criticize except to say, don't do that, and that's a tough thing to master, so give the dude a break. All in all, props to Fighting Frog for doing the most important thing, which is showing me something I haven't seen before and giving us something new to theorycraft over. That dude rocks, and I hope we'll see more of him. Lastly, I seem to be thanking our new subscribers an awful lot, so I wanted to give a shout out to the OG. I keep seeing faces in the comments from some of the first guys who ever managed to find this channel in the sea of YouTube, and the fact that you guys have stuck around is super cool. So from my base to yours, Zugzwang out. Commander, you're about to be rushed. Do you launch an aggressive counter-assault? Select the box in the upper left. Or turtle up and defend with everything you've got. Pick the box in the upper right. Or you can have it all. Do both and expand with a subscription to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just click the VS circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.